motherfucker.
Let's play a game.
Got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing
Well, it looks like professionalism isn't something that I am particularly good at. Let's see if this works instead.
I'm fucking buried in my grave, 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with, now they looking nervously. And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet
Cause
next
I don't
to
give
me.
a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I shot my wife in the stomach with 38.
Why did you do this?
She enticed me and she ridiculed me throughout my lifetime. I'll see if she's alive. You alive? Yeah. I think she's dead.
Sensational.
Here we go. Here we go. Hit that thumb, folks. Brojo's in the chat. Brojo, do us a favor. Just let me know whether I'm coming through all right on my audio. You usually do, and I usually don't notice that you've actually said it until the stream is bloody finished. If you want to join me, by all means, come in. I'll put it in the chat later. If you're wanting to come in. Well, elections. Elections are a big thing at the moment. This time next week, we should know what the result of the Great British elections should be. In 9 days, 10 days, we should understand what the French election results should be, and they're having their first round either today or tomorrow. And then down in November, I believe it's November the 5th, we have the American election. So we're going to have a look at some of the things that are going on. What are the media saying? What is the mainstream media really getting on about? And today has been a big day for the Reform Party. They're being accused of racism, bigotry, homophobia. They've got people within their ranks, people who support them who are racists, people who support them who are bigots or are homophobes. They've got people in their ranks who are party activists going door to door with people who are saying rather silly things, and some of their potential MPs are saying some rather silly things as well. So here's a quick look at, just quickly looking at reform racism in Bing, and it's got here. So there's lots of stuff. Inside Reform's meltdown as racism and something. Reform activist filmed making slur about Sunak. Reform UK activist says he was goaded into racism. And we've got Rishi Sunak, Sky News. We've got I talking about who is this guy? who made this stuff. We got the BBC, we got the Mail Online, we got the Express, we got the Mirror. They're all talking about racism within reform. So let me stop that screen and present the next one. I would do this. I would do this much more professionally if my system would let me, but I can't actually share. I can't share audio with some of this, so I'm going to share if I do it in a different way. So I have to jump between all of these things. So let's have a look. What does our current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, say about this Reform UK activist's racial slur, which was against him being of Indian descent or ethnicity, whichever way is the right way to say it.
Well, my two daughters have to see and hear reform people who campaign for Nigel Farage calling me an effing. It hurts and it makes me angry. And I think he has some questions to answer.
I absolutely agree with that. That type of racial slur should not be used. It's pretty flaming nasty. I dislike it. And we're going to go into the rest of what he says, essentially.
And I don't repeat those words lightly. I do so deliberately because this is too important not to call out. When you see reform candidates and campaigners seemingly using racist and misogynistic language and opinions, seemingly without challenge, I think it tells you something about the culture within the Reform Party. Andrew Tate isn't an
seemingly without challenge. It says something about the culture of the Reform Party. This is the current British Prime Minister. Said he was hurt and angry. Secret recordings published by Channel 4 show a canvasser working to get Reform UK leader Nigel Farage elected as MP for Clacton, a little place called Clacton-on-Sea, using a racial slur to refer to the UK Prime Minister. Unacceptable comments, my daughters. It hurts. It makes me angry. Mr. Farage has questions to answer. Blah, blah, blah. I've just repeated exactly what he said, but I'm highlighting here in orange. Just above the orange bit, it says, footage broadcast by Channel 4 shows racist and Islamophobic slurs apparently being made by Andrew Parker, identified as a canvasser for Mr. Farage. We're going to get into that. Mr. Parker tells an undercover reporter he has always been a Tory voter. This is from the Great British Broadcasting Corporation. But he is annoyed by Mr. Sunak, who he referred to using a racial slur.
That's racist.
Mr. Parker is also heard describing Islam as the most disgusting cult out and suggesting army recruits should carry out target practice by shooting at small boats bringing illegal migrants to the UK. I would like to go back to this bit here that I'm highlighting. He has always been a Tory voter. This guy's views, his personality, what he wanted to say did not suddenly arise because he left the Tory party's ranks and joined Reform. What I'm saying is the Tories are full of people who are racist. Actually, when I say full of, it doesn't mean all of them. It means that there is a substantial subset. I'm not saying majority are racist. I don't think the majority of people in Britain are racist in general. But everybody, especially in politics, everybody's bigoted in some way. Everybody's racist, how you might want to define it, in some way towards some people. I mean, there's a lot of racism against white men. White men. White men.
That's racist.
And it's not just reform. This makes it very clear the Tories have a major problem, the Conservative Party. And I would hazard to say the Lib Dems have got the same bloody issues, Labour have got the same issues, the SNP has got the same issues, Plaid Cymru has got the same issues, all of them have got the same bloody issues. There are a bunch of people that follow those parties and probably MPs or candidates or are activists who are racist. Anyway, ahead of the publication of the footage, this Mr. Parker made a statement to Channel 4 claiming neither Nigel Farage personally or the Reform Party are aware of my personal views on immigration, where he said that army recruits should carry out target practice on the people in the small boats bringing illegal immigrants to the UK. Okay. Let's get rid of that one. Let's see what did Nigel Farage actually say about this, because this starts getting interesting.
6 days to go until the general election. Boy, we are doing well. How do I know? The level of attacks. To begin, they've dug out a statement from me 10 years ago saying I thought there'd be a war in Ukraine, that we'd made some terrible errors of expanding NATO and the European Union. Well, I was right. They were all wrong. But funny, isn't it? That now gets conflated into I support President Putin, which I never have. I've always thought he's a very, very bad and dangerous person. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of the real pushback against the Reform UK vote, against the momentum that is happening out there in the country. Oh, by the way, I was opposed to the Iraq War, which finished up killing hundreds of thousands of civilians. I was opposed to the Libyan War, which led to the creation of ISIS and the boats crossing the Mediterranean.
Nigel, get on with it.
Some of those people now coming across the English Channel. The establishment always fight against me because you know what? I get it right a lot more than they do. And now,
yeah, he likes to blow up his own backside. I tell you, he's a politician. What can I say? I mean, how much of what does he say is true? I don't know. How much of what he says does he believe in? How racist actually is Nigel Farage? I haven't got a clue. It doesn't matter because they're all fucking racist. They're all bigoted. They're all some ismist. They've all got something hiding in their closet that needs to come out.
Now we get the most incredible saga over the last 24 hours.
It's all right, Nigel. We're here to rescue you.
So-called Reform UK activist turns up in the Clacton office last Saturday, goes out with an undercover, apparently, Channel 4 news team, and makes a series of very, very racist, derogatory remarks about Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, about people crossing the channel who he wants to shoot, about turning every mosque into a Wetherspoons. I mean, I watched this stuff. I thought, this is just so over the top. No one speaks like this. This is like an Alf Garnett comedy sketch going back 50 years.
It really is. It really does look like a setup. It looks like how could the Channel 4 reporters who were actually undercover, so they were pretending to be reform activists as well, how were they just happening to be with the particularly bad people who are saying the bad things? That sounds like fake news to me. Fake news. I love that I've stopped this video at exactly that point. Nigel, you look like an alien. I'll have to keep you going.
And yet, overnight, we found out that the guy is an actor. So we called him this morning. The Daily Telegraph called him this morning. He denied being an actor.
Interesting.
After a short period of time, he admitted to other media outlets that he was an actor.
Interesting.
And then we found his own website. where he speaks and advertises his services for adverts, for acting, whatever else it may be.
Interesting.
And he describes himself as being very well spoken, but he has an alter ego. He can do what he calls rough talk. All right? Now,
I wonder if he uses that rough talk with the ladies.
when he turned up in the office in Clacton last Saturday, I was there at the desk working. He turned up and it was proper call blimey governor, right?
Call blimey.
He was playing the alter ego. He was acting and not being himself from the moment he arrived. Then he goes out by coincidence on a canvassing team with an undercover reporter from Channel 4.
Interesting.
We've also discovered over the course of the day that on another website, he advertises his services for doing undercover filming. I mean, you literally, this is like Netflix.
I said it earlier on, fake news. I'm waiting for somebody to start shouting China next. China.
You literally couldn't make this up. Now, we went back to Channel 4, questioned who this guy was, the veracity of what he was saying, and in what role he was positioning himself. And Channel 4, interestingly, denied that he was an actor. And yet, we've now found out he's done acting parts in the past for Channel 4.
Is this starting to blow your mind a bit? You know, this person was known to Channel 4, but they denied that he was ever there. And of course, nobody can prove that he was ever there. Well, they've proven that he was there, but they can't prove that there was a connection between them. And yet it's all coming together. Fake news. It's all fake fucking news. And the question that the mainstream media seems to have about taking Nigel Farage's point of view here is
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All they want is to actually have a go. And they're not accepting that this guy did this shit, you know?
You see how the evidence is mounting up. Now, what I don't know is whether he was paid to do this or whether he volunteered to do this. That part of it, we just don't know. What I do know is that this is a stitch up on the most astonishing scale. And think about it.
Fake news.
An activist for a party, not a candidate who holds no position whatsoever, makes the front page of the Times newspaper. The Prime Minister responds to say how awful he feels for his two daughters about this racist remarks that were made about his family. Folks, this is the biggest stitch up I've ever seen in my life. And I bet you there's even more we're going to find out, even more.
So I'm going to stop that there. I think that's enough of that. We've heard exactly what's going on. This person has said something. This person used to be a Tory voter all his life and had these views, but the Tory MP that he was slurring, the Tory Prime Minister that he was slurring, who he used to support because he was a Tory supporter pretty much all his life, didn't care that he was a racist cunt until he's actually changed parties. So let's move on. I'll quickly show this guy. I'll quickly show him here. This is the guy. A guy called Richard. Is it Richard Parker? Gary Parker? Andrew Parker. Andrew Parker. He's there. He's in a suit. He looks like an old white guy. In fact, I do have to say, I mean, I am supporting Reform UK. I'm going to put it out there. I'm supporting Reform UK. I've got some of their stuff in my window, and people don't like it. And I have noticed it's a lot of old white guys with grey hair who look quite tubby, some of them. And they could very well have a lot of these ideas that they've got. Well, you know, that's how it is, really. That's part of Britain. I think what Nigel was going to say next was, I mean, they got rid of these people straight away. They got rid of them. Every time somebody gets caught out, they get rid of them. Bang, like that. They're out. They're gone. And they deal with it straight away. So this guy, what have I highlighted in here? There's lots of stuff. But again, I highlighted, he told a Channel 4 News undercover reporter he'd always been a Conservative Party voter. My two daughters, all that stuff. We met Mr. Parker for the first time at Reform UK Party headquarters, where he was a Reform Party canvasser. We didn't pay him or anyone else. Oh no, that is Channel 4 News saying that. Channel 4 says, we strongly stand by our rigorous and duly impartial journalism, which speaks for itself as fake news. I added that last 3 words in. We didn't pay him or anyone else in this report. Mr. Parker was not known to Channel 4 News and was filmed covertly by the undercover operation. And yet he was known to Channel 4 and had worked for Channel 4 as an actor previously. Wow. Anyhow, let's move on to the next bit, because it gets a bit more interesting, really. You start being able to consider, okay, so you've got racists and bigots who come out of the woodwork for Reform Party, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, which I showed that at the beginning. But let's have a look at this. This was May. This was last month, just a month ago. Labour condemns racist remark by party source. Richard Parker, a guy called Richard Parker, interestingly the same name as this other one. A Labour Party candidate. The Labour Party has condemned a quote that he made, which it described as a racist comment. So Labour has got racists inside their party as well. Labour has got racists standing to be members of Parliament. They have strongly condemned him. Has he been kicked off? However, an official Labour Party spokesperson disowned the remarks, saying they had not come from anyone speaking on behalf of the party. Hang on. It's a Labour Party candidate for the West Midlands mayoral race. It's a member of the Labour Party standing on behalf of the Labour Party to be the Labour Party's mayor in the West Midlands, saying something, and the Labour Party disowns the remarks and says he's not speaking on behalf of the party. Of course he's speaking on behalf of the party, you stupid bastards. What the fuck is being said here? That's like, a Conservative source described it as vile. The Labour Party strongly condemns this racist quote, which has not come from anyone who's speaking on behalf of the party or whose values are welcome in the party. No, you've just lied. It was somebody speaking on behalf of the party because they're actually your candidate that you put forward. So, let's look at the next one. I know I've just proven. Where am I going here now? There. That one. Okay, when's this? December, Friday 22nd of December 2023. Labour MP suspended for using racist slur, claims his anti-racism course on expenses. So this MP, this Labour MP, Neil Coyle, was found to have used a racist slur. He was a member of Parliament. They welcomed him back into the party after he had some kind of penance, told him he had to go on an anti-racism course, and then he claimed the cost of the course on his expenses. And they want to kick him out again. So what you can see here is the fucking Labour Party's full of bloody racists as well. Okay. So what about the Tories? All right. Let's see if the Tories are anything. So this is from the 12th of March 2024, just over 3 months ago. One of the largest Tory donors, who gave something like 10 million pounds. One of their biggest donors, one of their biggest activists, one of their biggest supporters, made racist and wrong comments about Diane Abbott. So the Tories are full of fucking racists as well. There are some interesting bits in this. Number 10 and Conservative ministers initially stopped short of making criticism of Frank Hester's remarks, the person who made these remarks and who gives them £10 million. He basically said that looking at Diane Abbott, who is this lady here, who is a Labour MP, or she was a Labour MP until they took away her whip for something that she said or did. Looking at Abbott, Diane Abbott, makes you want to hate all black women. And he said the MP should be shot. And they said they initially stopped short of making that criticism of racism and hate. The Tory party didn't want to actually kick him out from the Tory party. I mean, he's not an MP, but he's one of their biggest donors. 10 million quid. A spokesperson for the Tory party added that his remorse for having said it should be accepted after he rightly apologised for the offence caused, which is exactly what this Mr. Parker said in the first thing. I didn't say any of this in terms of being from the Reform Party's point of view. I wasn't speaking on their behalf. This is all my own stuff. I'm sorry for putting this onto the Reform Party. Blah, 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 blah. His remorse should be accepted. Unbelievable. So, I think you could say that this is a bit of hypocrisy going on here. Do we have any more? Is there any more? Let's see. 26th of February, Tory MP accused of racism after calling UK areas no-go zones. Talked about Islamophobia. Parts of Birmingham and London are no-go zones. Paul Scully was being interviewed on BBC Radio London after Lee Anderson said Islamists have got control of London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Islamist. The Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, former Home Secretary, so one of the top people in the cabinet in the Tory party, said Islamist extremists are now controlling Britain. She wrote, the UK sleepwalking into a ghettoized society.
That's racist.
You know, they all do it. All of them. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at all which party they're from. Each party is full of bigots and racists and ists and XYZ, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I just feel, it's like, I'm just stuck in the fucking middle, going, there's a fucking bunch of idiots over here, there's a bunch of idiots over here. It's like, what? Okay, yes. One of the interesting things that Nigel Farage did say, he said, I am the person that basically made the British National Party, the National Front, the Nazi Party in the UK. I shut it down. And he claims that. My immediate question for him then, if he claims that, is, so what happened to all the people? Did you actually shut down their racist ideas that are going on in their head? No. They had to go elsewhere. Now, of all of these parties, all of them are going, well, you've got to kick them out. And Nigel Farage says, those people have no place in my party. I've kicked them out. What happened? What happens to freedom of speech? What happens to freedom of belief? Where do these people go? If you all chuck them out and then you make the party that they could belong to illegal, because it's basically like the Ku Klux Klan or the Nationalist Socialists or whatever they were called, the nasty party from the 1930s with the guy with the funny mustache and the strange voice. But if you get rid of that, these people do not have a democratic voice. They don't have anybody that represents them. And I believe we live in a democracy. Should we basically put them into boats and use them for target practice? It seems to be a standard thing to say nowadays. Anyway, shall we look at I pressed the wrong button. I'm probably likely to press the X leave studio button at some point soon because I'm so professional. Let's look at the American election. Again, the great British Broadcasting Corporation is considering the question, can Joe Biden be replaced as Democrat nominee? Now, I have no idea whether what they're telling me in this article is true because I'm not fucking American and I don't know whether they have looked at all of the right little bits and understand it all. But I'll just tell you what they've said so that my American friends can argue about it on other hangouts, you see. So the first presidential debate is done and the aftermath has not been good for Geriatric Joe. The dementia-ridden president's primary goal on Thursday was to ease concerns about his age. Instead, the debate deepened them and proved to everybody that he's a fucking zombie. Some Democrat politicians and operatives reportedly texted CNN, not as good as the BBC, commentators with hopes that the 81-year-old old fart would step aside. Some floated the possibility of going to the White House and publicly stating concerns about him remaining as candidate. Questions. Could Mr. Biden back out now? What would happen? Who could replace him? So can he withdraw? The Democratic Party's nominee will officially be chosen in August at the DNC in Chicago. There, a candidate must win support from the majority of delegates, party officials who formally choose the nominee. Delegates are assigned to candidates proportionally based on the results of each state's primary election, and this year Biden won almost 99% of the 4,000 delegates. And according to the DNC rules, those delegates are pledged to him and they have to support his nomination. They can't go against the nomination that they have been told to deliver. They have to deliver that nomination. So the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, can't just come in and just do it. But if Geriatric Joe was to drop out, it would be a free-for-all. There is no official mechanism for him or anyone else in the party to choose his successor, meaning Democrats would be left with an open convention. I don't know whether that's a legal term or a standard term or whatever, or it's just journalistic words. They're just using these words. Presumably, Geriatric Joe would have some sway over his pledged delegates. Not that they could hear him because he's got no voice box left. But they would ultimately be free to do as they please. If he were to drop out, that is, he has to make his own choice. That could lead to a frantic contest erupting among Democrats who want a shot at the nomination. It is worth adding that Biden has so far given no indication he's considered stepping aside. Could he be forced out? This is even less plausible. In the modern political era, a major national party has never tried a hostile takeover. There's no evidence of any serious plans to try it. But DNC regulations do have some small loopholes. The rules allow delegates to, in all good conscience, reflect the sentiments of those who elected them. Meaning they could look to someone else if Democrat voters across the country turned against Biden in large numbers. How would they know? Each state would have to have their own referendum or a bunch of polls to be able to determine that. Your comment was removed, Bro Joe. What comment? What comment? Did you comment that Biden could be replaced by a moist cabbage? I haven't removed your comment. I don't have many rules on my channel. I think I might have just have the standard YouTube censorship thing. Just say what you were going to say, but in a better way. Vice President Kamala Harris would automatically take Joe Biden's place if he were to step down during his presidential term, i.e., while he was president. But the same rules do not apply if Mr. Biden pulls out as a candidate for the election. There is no mechanism in place that would give the vice president an upper hand at an open convention. They've used that word again, open convention, for the DNC. Instead, Ms. Harris would have to win the majority of delegates over, just like any other candidate. As she's already on the Democratic ticket, she could certainly be favored, but her relatively low popularity among the American public may dull that advantage. Who's going to tell her that she's not popular? She's the vice president. They've all got to back each other up, haven't they? Her net disapproval rating is lower than both Biden's and Trump's. So who else could take Biden's place? Several Democrats did try to challenge Biden this election cycle. Dean Phillips, Marianne Wilson, both were long shot attempts. Some speculation Gavin Newsom or Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer could be substitutes, but neither have shown any interest. But Newsom said on Thursday, "I will never turn my back on President Biden." That's probably because you'll get a fucking knife in it. I've spent a lot of time with him, and I know what he's accomplished in the last 3.5 years. I know what he's capable of. And I know his vision, and I have no trepidation. So that's it. The BBC didn't actually tell us anything, but there are clearly a lot of mainstream media outlets that are all talking about it's time to get rid of geriatric Joe, you know? So, I'm pretty much done. Unless Nerdy wants a bit of sexism, but I don't think it really fits in with this. Doesn't really fit in with this particular chat. Let's see. Frank says that was I'll show it. That was a really bad performance by the Prez. The only Dem that can lose to Trump is Hillary C. I believe any other Dem can defeat Trump. Only if they cheat. Only if they cheat, Frank. Brojo wants some homophobic, bigoted sexism now.
That's racist.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Brojo tried to say something that rhymes with moose. Goose? Gary Newsom, but spelt differently. Use your imagination. I have no idea. Sandy's still here. My mate Sandy. Yeah. Nerdy says use the pull-out method. Nerdy doesn't like censorship. I think this is the best comment of the lot. He could be replaced by a moist cabbage. No. No. Could be. See, this is what the presidential debates remind me of. Hong Kong Phooey. They don't really know what the fuck they're doing, but they need somebody who just fiddles about underneath them and around in the background to make everything work or make everything appear like it's working. And Joe Biden has got all of that. He's got all of these people that are in the background fiddling about, trying to make things work and playing around with the media to make it look like Joe Biden made a good decision. Trump never had that. Trump had Twitter. Trump decided he was just going to do it. Trump needs people in the background. If he's going to actually do anything, he's got to listen to them. He's got to take their advice. He's got to make sure they take his direction, and they've got to deliver what he wants to actually fucking deliver. Now, will it work? I don't know. I can't really see it because he's hated by the secret establishment. Anyway, I think that's it. Nobody said that they wanted to come in, so I'm going to shut this down. Is anybody going to go live and we can have a chat? Well, we'll see. We shall see. Where's my stuff? I'm being really professional here, but I'm going to have to say goodbye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Say goodbye.
Got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with, now they looking nervously. And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see I will outwork you, turn you
shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I shot my wife in the stomach with 38.
Why did you do this?
She enticed me and she ridiculed me throughout my lifetime. I'll see if she's alive. She's alive? She's dead. I think she's dead.
Sensational. Okay, you're banned.